He pulled a candy ring from his pocket and held it out to her. "Marry me," Jin-ho said. Zara examined it, bit a piece clean off, chewed slowly, and looked at him dead in the eye. "Fine. But you share your lunch. And you can't be boring." They shook pinkies and sealed it. Neither of them knew that one candy ring and one careless promise was about to drag their parents, a struggling black single mother and Seoul's most feared crime boss, into a collision neither of them was ready for. Hey family, welcome to my story channel. Please subscribe and give this video a like. Don't forget to share it with your friends and loved ones. Thank you so much for the support. Now, sit back, and let's move into today's story. The man's body hit the floor before anyone in the room had time to breathe. Park Dae-young straightened his cufflink, looked down at the man clutching his jaw on the cold marble, and said quietly, "The next person who steals from me loses more than teeth." Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. 20 grown men stood against the wall of Seoul's most feared crime boss, and not one of them dared exhale too loudly. Dae-young picked up his phone, walked out, and didn't look back. That was Tuesday morning. By Tuesday afternoon, his 8-year-old son would be engaged. Meet May Williams. 30 years old. Black, sharp, beautiful in the way tired women are, quietly and completely. She came to Seoul 6 years ago following a husband with big dreams. The dreams died. The husband followed 2 years later. What remained was May, a work visa, a cleaning job at Honsung Elite Academy, and one daughter she was raising entirely on prayer and stubbornness. Meet Zara Williams. 8 years old. Loud. Opinionated. Missing one front tooth. She wore her hair in 2 uneven puffs because she refused to let her mother fix the second one. She had her father's eyes and her mother's mouth, which meant she saw everything and said all of it. May had no childcare this summer. She had no options either. So Zara came to work with her under strict instructions. You sit in the supply closet. You don't move. You don't talk to anyone. You eat your snacks quietly like a normal child. Zara blinked. What if someone talks to me first? They won't. But what if? Zara. Okay, mommy. She lasted 11 minutes. Meet Park Jin-ho. 8 years old. Small for his age. The kind of quiet that comes not from shyness, but from spending too much time around adults who treated him like furniture. He had his father's sharp eyes, but none of his father's coldness. Jin-ho felt everything, deeply, and had nobody to feel it with. The school's private garden was his hiding place. Surrounded by expensive landscaping nobody used, Jin-ho sat alone with a silver lunchbox full of food he didn't want, staring at his shoes. He heard her before he saw her. Whoa, this garden is huge. Why is nobody in here? He looked up. A girl stood at the garden entrance, pigtails, one missing tooth, hands on her hips like she owned the place. It's private, Jin-ho said carefully. Private means nobody's using it, Zara said, walking in anyway. She sat beside him uninvited, looked at his lunchbox, and opened it without asking. She picked up a dumpling, bit into it, made a face. This is mid. Jin-ho stared. Mid. Not good. Not bad. Just mid. She chewed. Why are you out here alone? He paused. Nobody had ever just asked him that. People don't really play with me. Zara looked at him like he'd said something strange. Why not? They're scared of my dad. She shrugged. I'm not scared of dads. Mine is dead. Can't be scared of someone who's gone. She picked up another dumpling. You wanna play something? Jin-ho felt something crack open in his chest. Something warm. Yeah, he said softly. I do. The next morning, Zara went straight to the garden. She told herself it was because the supply closet smelled like bleach and boredom. Not because she was thinking about the quiet boy with the sad eyes and the good food. Jin-ho was already there. He'd arrived early. He also had better food. Spicy rice cakes, kimbap, and a small container of strawberries. Zara sat down without a word, and immediately ate a strawberry. You came back, Jin-ho said. You have better snacks today. Obviously I came back. He laughed. It surprised both of them. They talked the way children talk. Fast, honest, no filters. Zara told him about Nigeria, where her grandmother lived, where the sun was different and the food had actual flavor. Jinho told her about his house. The big rooms, the quiet hallways, the bodyguards who stood outside his door at night. That sounds lonely, Zara said. It is. My apartment is small. Like, really small. My mom says if we breathe too hard at the same time we lose a wall. She grinned. But it's loud. And it smells like food. And my mom sings really badly at night. That sounds nice, Jinho said quietly. It is. They were quiet for a moment, the comfortable kind. Then Jinho reached into his pocket. He'd been holding it since yesterday, moving it from one pocket to another, rehearsing. He pulled out a candy ring, red and gold, the kind sold at the school tuck shop for 501. He held it out. Zara looked at it. Looked at him. What's that for? Jinho straightened up. He'd seen proposals in movies. He was fairly sure this was how it worked. I want to marry you. Zara tilted her head. She was quiet for 4 full seconds. An eternity for her. Then she plucked the ring from his fingers, bit off a small piece of the candy top, and said, Fine, but you have to share your lunch every day. And you can't be boring. I won't be boring. And no telling me what to do. Okay. And if I change my mind, you can change your mind, he said quickly. She looked at the ring again. Then she held out her pinky finger. Pinky promise, she said seriously. Jinho wrapped his pinky around hers. Pinky promise. They shook once. Firm. Official. Zara bit the rest of the candy top and handed him back the ring part. For you. He took it like it was the most precious thing he'd ever held. That evening, Park Dae-young sat at the head of a long dining table. Auntie Choi sat to his left, stirring her soup. Jinho sat across from him, unusually bright-eyed, unusually full of energy. Dae-young noticed. You seemed different today. Jinho looked up. He took a small breath. Father, he said, very formally, the way he'd practiced. I am engaged. Auntie Choi's spoon stopped. Dae-young set down his chopsticks slowly. I'm sorry. I asked someone to marry me today. She said yes. We did a pinky promise, which means it's official. The room was absolutely still. Auntie Choi pressed her lips together. She was working very hard not to smile. Dae-young spoke in a voice that was dangerously calm. Who is she? Her name is Zara. She's 8. She ate my strawberries. She's really funny, father. She said our house sounds lonely, and I think she's right. Dae-young said nothing for a very long moment. Then, what is her family name? Williams. Her mother works at my school. She cleans. Silence crashed across the table like a wave. Dae-young picked up his phone. Get me everything on a May Williams. Tonight. May was on her knees scrubbing a hallway floor when Mrs. Kang's heels appeared in her vision. She looked up. The school administrator was looking at her the way people look at stains. Your daughter was in the private garden. Again. With the park boy. May sat back on her heels. Mrs. Kong, I told her. Do you know who that child's father is? May opened her mouth. An aide passing behind Mrs. Kong mouthed the word silently. Park. Dae-young. May's mouth closed. Everything in her body went very still. She found Zara in the supply closet eating chips like nothing had happened. Zara Amara Williams. Zara looked up. Full name. Dangerous. Did a boy give you a ring yesterday? Zara considered lying. She was fast, but her mother was faster. It was candy. I ate most of it. Did you agree to marry him? It was a joke, Mommy. Like a game. May crouched down to her level. Baby. What is the boy's name? Jinho. Jinho what? A pause. Park. May closed her eyes. She counted to 5 in her head. Then she stood, took Zara's hand, and they walked out of that school at a speed that was technically not running. They came home to 2 men in black suits standing at their apartment door. Big men. Expensive suits. Earpieces. Zara looked up at them with genuine curiosity. Are you robots? One of them held out a cream envelope. Gold seal. Heavy paper. May took it with a steady hand. She waited until they were inside to open it. Dear Ms. Williams, Mr. Park Dae-young requests the pleasure of your company for tea at the Park residence this Saturday at 3 p.m. A car will be arranged. This is not optional. Those last 4 words weren't written, but May read them anyway. She sat on the kitchen floor. Just sat there, envelope in her lap. Zara appeared beside her, sat down too, and put her small hand on May's arm. Mommy, are we going to die? No, baby. Are you sure? May looked at her daughter's face. Big eyes, missing tooth, completely serious. I'm sure, May said. Go pack your nice dress. Saturday arrived faster than mercy. The car that pulled up outside their building was longer than their living room. Zara pressed her face against the window the entire ride. May sat upright, hands folded, practicing calm she did not feel. The Park penthouse took up the entire top floor of a building that had its own name. A doorman bowed. An elevator that smelled expensive opened into a space so large Zara's voice actually echoed when she said, Wow. Dae-young was already seated when they entered. He stood. May had prepared herself for many things. She had not fully prepared for the reality of him. Tall. Still. The kind of man whose silence felt like weight. He was not shouting. He was not threatening. He was simply present, and somehow that was worse. Ms. Williams, he said. Thank you for coming. May met his eyes steadily. Did I have a choice? A pause. Something flickered across his face. No, he said honestly. But I appreciate that you came anyway. They sat around a table set with things May could not afford to break. Auntie Choi poured tea. She kept her face neutral, but her eyes were bright with entertainment. Dae-young looked at May directly. I want to be straightforward with you. Please, May said. My son announced his engagement at dinner 3 days ago. Your daughter is his chosen person. He said it without blinking. In my family, my son's word matters. I won't dismiss it. May stared at him. He's 8. I know. She's 8. I know. It was a candy ring. I know that too. May set down her teacup. Then what exactly are we doing here? I want to understand who you are, he said simply. My son has never attached himself to anyone before. He chose your daughter. I want to know why. May blinked. That was not what she expected. She was quiet for a moment. Then, Zara talks to people like they matter, even when they don't talk back. She probably just talked to your son like he was a normal boy. Something moved behind Dae-young's eyes. Small. Real. He is a normal boy, he said quietly. Then maybe he just needed someone to notice. From the hallway, they heard it before they saw it. Laughter, crashing, the unmistakable sound of a child running indoors. Jin-ho burst through the door. Zara was right behind him, sliding on the marble floor in her church shoes. They knocked into a side table. A vase rocked dangerously. Every person in the room held their breath. Auntie Choi caught the vase. Jin-ho and Zara froze. Then Zara looked at Dae-young. Looked at him hard. The way children do. Without fear, without performance. Your house is very clean, she said, but it doesn't smell like food. A house should smell like food. Dae-young opened his mouth. Closed it. Auntie Choi made a sound that was definitely not a laugh. Jin-ho grabbed Zara's hand. Come, I'll show you my room. They disappeared down the hallway. Noise trailing behind them. The adults sat in the quiet they left behind. Dae-young looked at the empty doorway. Then at May. She's remarkable, he said. May felt a complicated pride. She is. I'd like the children to continue seeing each other. Supervised. No pressure. No arrangements. He paused. And I want to make sure you're compensated. No. May's voice was firm and instant. Dae-young looked at her. I don't want your money, Mr. Park. My daughter doesn't need it. She needs normal friendship. Can your son do normal? He was quiet for a long moment. I'm not sure, he admitted, but I think Zara might teach him. May studied his face. No tricks. No angles. Just a powerful man being, for one honest second, just a father. Fine, she said. Normal. We'll try normal. Normal turned out to look different on each side. On the Williams side, normal meant Jinho sitting on a plastic chair at May's kitchen table eating jollof rice he didn't recognize and asking 15 questions about it. It meant Zara pulling him by the wrist through Guangjiang Market, teaching him to bargain for tteokbokki with the confidence of someone who'd been doing it for years. Hold up 3 fingers, Zara instructed. Look bored. Don't smile. Jinho held up 3 fingers. He immediately smiled. You smiled, Zara said. Sorry. It's hard. You paid full price again. Sorry. He wasn't sorry. He loved every second of it. On the park side, normal meant Zara sitting cross-legged on Jinho's bed surrounded by toys she had opinions about. Why do you have so many toys nobody's played with? They're gifts. From who? Business people. My father's associates. Zara picked up a remote control helicopter still in the box. This has never been opened. She started opening it. Zara. Jinho. A toy that's never been played with is just a sad box. She handed him the controller. You fly it. I'll catch it when you crash it. I won't crash it. He crashed it in 4 minutes. They laughed so hard Jinho fell off the bed. May and Dae-yoon kept finding themselves in the same spaces. Pickup time at the school gate, the apartment lobby, Andy Choi's dinner table once, when nobody warned May she'd been invited. The conversations were short, careful, circling. You grew up in Lagos? He asked once, standing outside the market while the children argued over which fish cake to buy. Till I was 19. Then London. Then here. She kept her eyes forward. You've been in Seoul your whole life? Yes. Does it ever feel small? He looked at her. Every day. She hadn't expected that answer. She didn't show it. Auntie Choi found May alone in the park kitchen one evening, waiting for Zara. She poured 2 cups of tea without asking. Sat down. Got straight to business. He looked up your whole life, you know. Before that first tea. Everything. May stiffened. I know. He doesn't do that for people he doesn't care about. He did it because of his son. He did it because of his son first, Auntie Choi said calmly. Now. She shrugged. I've known that man for 38 years. He doesn't stand outside in the cold waiting for someone to come out unless he wants to see them. May looked at her cup. I'm a cleaner, Ms. Choi. You're a woman, Auntie Choi said simply. That's the only thing that matters to a man in that kind of loneliness. The note was slipped under May's apartment door on a Wednesday night. She almost missed it. Small envelope, plain white, no name. She picked it up, read it in the hallway light. You don't belong in that world. Remove yourself and your daughter, or face consequences you are not prepared for. May stood very still for a long time. Then she folded the note, put it in her coat pocket, and went back inside. She did not call Dae-yoon. She did not call anyone. She sat on the kitchen floor in the dark and thought about all the ways she could quietly disappear from this situation without hurting her daughter. She could ask for a transfer to another school. Move apartments. Tell Zara that Jinho had moved away. She started pulling away quietly. Shorter visits. Longer excuses. Zara noticed first. Why aren't we going to Jinho's house anymore? Mommy's busy, baby. You're always busy, but we always went before. Things change. Zara stared at her. Mommy, you're lying. May's throat tightened. Go to bed, Zara. Jinho noticed too. He called Zara on the old tablet she used for video calls. She answered but seemed distant. She looked over her shoulder twice. Is something wrong? He asked. No. You're doing the thing where you answer fast so I stop asking. Zara paused. Maybe. Tell me. A long silence. I think my mom is scared of something. She won't tell me what. Jin-ho sat with that. Then he did what he always did when something was wrong. He told his father. Dae-young found out about the note 20 minutes later through his own sources. His men had been monitoring quietly, and the threat hadn't come from nowhere. It came from Shin Mu-jin, a rival. A man had been watching Dae-young for weakness for 3 years and thought he'd finally found one. A black woman with a cleaning job and a daughter who laughed too loud in park spaces. Dae-young didn't raise his voice. He never did. He made 2 phone calls. It was handled by morning. Then he went to May's apartment. Alone. No bodyguards. No suit jacket. Just the man. He knocked. May opened the door and her face immediately hardened. I didn't call you. I know. I don't need you here. I know that too. He looked at her steadily. But you got a note. And I should have protected you before it got that far. I'm sorry. May blinked. The word sorry from this man sounded like it cost him something real. She crossed her arms. You've been watching us. Protecting. There's a difference. No, she said sharply. There isn't. Not when I didn't ask. Not when you didn't tell me. I am not one of your operations, Mr. Park. I am a person. I know, he said quietly. Then act like it. He nodded. No argument. No defense. Just, you're right. May didn't sleep well that night. She lay in the dark and thought about the look on his face when she shut the door. Not anger. Not pride. Just a man absorbing something true. She thought about what Auntie Choi said. He stands in the cold for people he wants to see. She thought about how different he was from everything she'd built her fear of him on. She was still thinking when Zara climbed into her bed at 6 a.m. Mommy. Are you still mad at Mr. Park? I wasn't mad. I was setting a boundary. Is that the same thing? Sometimes. Zara was quiet. Then, he's not like I thought a scary man would be. May opened her eyes. How did you think he'd be? Loud. Mean. Big energy. She scrunched her face. He's just quiet and sad and he looks at you like you're a math problem he's trying to solve. May made a sound that was almost a laugh. He looks at you like that because you confuse him. Zara said, seriously. And I think that's good. I don't think many people confuse him. May looked at her daughter. 8 years old. Missing 1 tooth. Smarter than everyone. When did you get so wise? I learned from Jin-ho. He thinks a lot. She paused. Mommy. He's a good dad. He's just bad at showing it. Like how you're good at hugging, but bad at saying sorry first. May stared at the ceiling. Go eat your cereal. She called Dae-young at noon. He picked up on the first ring. I want to talk, May said. Properly. Not in my doorway. A pause. Where? The park near Hansung. The public one. Somewhere normal. When? Now. Before I change my mind. They sat on a bench. Children played nearby. Nobody recognized him in a plain jacket and no entourage. He looked almost ordinary. Almost. May spoke first. I know you were trying to help. I understand that. She kept her eyes forward. But in my life, help has always come with a price. I've learned to be careful of it. My help has no price, he said. How do I know that? He thought for a moment. You don't. Not yet. He turned to look at her. But I'd like the chance to show you. May looked at him. Really looked. No title. No reputation. Just a man on a park bench who got up at dawn and came alone to a woman's door because he thought she was scared. You're strange, she said. I've been told. The most feared man in Seoul showed up at my apartment with no bodyguards and said sorry. It needed to be said. Most men like you don't say it. I know. I've tried to not be most men like me. He paused. I haven't always succeeded. Honesty. Real honesty. May felt something she didn't fully want to name. 1 step, she said. That's all I'm offering. 1 step. He nodded. 1 step. The children, meanwhile, had held their own meeting. Jin-ho's bedroom. Door closed. Very serious faces. Your mom closed the door on my dad, Jinho said. My mom closes doors when she's scared, Zara said. She's not actually mad. She's protecting herself. My dad stood outside for 4 minutes before he left. I watched on the camera. See? He's still trying. Jinho leaned forward. We need to fix this. Obviously. Zara pulled her knees up. Okay. Here's the plan. The plan involved both of them staging a small emergency. Jinho calling his father and Zara calling her mother simultaneously, each saying the other was upset and asking for them specifically. It worked perfectly. Dae-young walked into Auntie Choi's living room expecting a crying child. He found Mei. Mei walked into Auntie Choi's living room expecting her daughter to be upset. She found Dae-young. They both turned immediately. Jinho. Zara. From the couch. Both children sat side by side with their arms crossed, matching expressions of complete calm. Sit down, Zara said. Zara, Mei started. Mommy. Sit. Mei sat. She didn't even fully understand why. Dae-young sat across from her. Jinho stood up. He had clearly prepared a speech. You are both being very silly. Grown-ups say children are dramatic, but you've been avoiding each other for 9 days, which is longer than Zara and I have ever fought, and our worst fight lasted 2 hours. 40 minutes, Zara corrected. It felt like 2 hours. He refocused. My father is happy when Ms. Mei is here. He hums. He doesn't know he does it, but he does. And Zara said. I said my mom hums too, Zara said simply. She doesn't hum anymore. So. The room was completely quiet. Mei looked at the floor. Her ears were warm. Dae-young looked at his hands. Auntie Choi appeared in the doorway with a tray of tea, took one look at the room, and set it down quietly without a word. I don't know how to do this, Dae-young said quietly. To Mei. Only to Mei. Neither do I, she said. My world is complicated. My world is broke and complicated. A small smile. We're not that different. He almost smiled back. I don't want to pressure you. I know. He stopped. Started again. I haven't wanted to sit on a park bench with anyone in a very long time. That means something to me, even if I don't know what to do with it yet. Mei looked at him. Quiet man. Enormous life. Genuinely trying. We go slow, she said. As slow as you need. You ask before you protect. Agreed. And Zara and Jinho are already ahead of us, he finished. They both looked at the children. Jinho and Zara were now playing cards, completely unbothered, as if they hadn't just successfully negotiated adult emotions. Zara looked up. Are you guys okay now? We're working on it, Mei said. Good. She put down a card. Because you were both really bad at being sad. Very obvious. Jinho nodded gravely. Very obvious. 6 months later, Sunday afternoon. Mei's apartment. For people somehow fitting into a space built for 1.5. Dae-young sat on a floor cushion that was genuinely too small for him. Eating fried plantains Mei had made. He had eaten 4 already. He said nothing about it, but he also hadn't stopped. Zara and Jinho sat at the coffee table doing homework. They were bickering about fractions. You carry the 1, Zara said. You don't carry anything in division. Jinho. You carry the 1. That's multiplication. Carry. The 1. Mei watched from the kitchen. She looked at Dae-young on the floor, legs folded awkwardly, eating food she made with a look on his face that was not a full smile, but was something quieter and more real than that. He looked up and caught her watching. She turned back to the stove. A moment later, he appeared beside her. He reached past her for a glass of water, closer than necessary. Thank you for the food, he said quietly. You've had 5 pieces. 6. A pause. It's the best thing I've eaten in years. She kept her eyes on the stove. Don't let me down, Park Dae-young. I won't. I mean it. I know. His voice was low and steady. I know you mean it. That's why I'm still here. From the living room, Zara's voice floated over. Jin-ho, pinky promise you'll carry the one. That's not how pinky promises work. Jin-ho. Fine. Mei laughed quietly, chin down, shoulders shaking. Dae-young watched her laugh. And for the first time in a very long time, the house smelled like food. If this story moved you, made you smile, or gave you all the feels, please like this video, subscribe for more stories like this, and leave a comment telling me your favorite moment. Was it Zara eating the candy ring? Mei sitting on the kitchen floor? Or Dae-young on that tiny floor cushion? Tell me below. See you in the next one.